My name is JT, and this is a story about how I built my homestead.
Hey guys, JT here. Welcome back to another episode of JT Time. We are inside the house again, and let me show you what we, or at least what I hope to do today. It's about 8 o'clock right now. I got until maybe 2 p.m. because I'm picking up a meat slicer. I found a pretty good one off of Craigslist, so hopefully that one works out. But for now, let me just focus on the house. When we get the meat slicer, I'll add that into this episode just to show you guys kind of the specialty episodes that that surround my hobbies and everything like that. But again, like I said, we're inside the house now, and what I'm doing today, at least, is I have some 8-inch, I guess, duct terminations. I don't know what they're called. I'm probably not helping you guys out very much, but they're called something for like duct termination or something like that. But essentially, the reason why I need those is because if you look up where my vent is located at right there, and then the little hole that goes into my attic, originally there was supposed to be flashing on top, and you're supposed to shingle fashion the installation, but because they've already installed that, everything's already done correctly on the roof, I don't want to go back and tear that out just to put the flashing there so that I can tie in my duct. So this is kind of a way to retrofit a termination point for my flexible duct to actually tie into to go out to the outside, essentially. So that's that. I do want to install these guys. These are dampeners for both my 4 inches and my 8-inch ducts. They're pretty cool because they actually keep the air from outside from coming into the house, which is really nice. So essentially, this is spring loaded. So the way you would install this is this would go on top of my vents, and anytime I turn them on, the pressure of the air will just open this up and let the air flow out. But when it turns off, it naturally closes, and it's supposed to seal off so that air from the outside can't go into the house, or it minimizes that amount of air that goes into the house, which is really cool. So I'm installing those two. I got some flexible duct, so I'm going to go ahead and install the duct from the vents to the roof line. That way we can start focusing on sealing that. Start focusing on sealing all of that and getting ready to do insulation on top of my ceiling, or not ceiling, my roof. So I want to do that. This is just some zip ties for the duct, the flexible duct. That's just mastic, or not. I don't even know if it's called mastic. I think it's what is this called? This is called F-Seal 181, which is a UL listed. It's a type of water-based duct sealant. So essentially, it's what seals around this little portion of the duct right here, so that it seals that off. It makes it airtight for us. Electric work's still coming through, or coming along, and we have the panel in now. There should be an electrical tie-in for that too, for like emergency generator power that I'll have the electrician install. But it's coming together. They're getting close. I haven't done a full kind of sweep of the entire work that they've done yet, just because it's a lot to take in. It's going to take me a little bit to kind of really trace the wires and think about, okay, how they have this wired out to make sure that it actually matches with what I had in mind. But I don't think this is going to take me too long to do. I do need to do a Home Depot or like a home improvement store run, maybe Lowe's. So I'm going to go do that. Oh, I want to do this too. So wall duct kit. This is for our dryer. I did my best to do all my exterior penetrations before we put the exterior clad on, which is like the hardy board. But in this situation, I totally forgot about the dryer vent. I should have installed that ahead of time, but it's okay. I have to do it after the fact now, so I'm just gonna cut a hole into our wall, put the dryer vent duct in, and seal it off from the inside. So that's probably gonna go somewhere around here, because I mean, you got the power cord there, you got your gas line here, so maybe right there in that little box. That's a nice little box for it. That's gonna be pretty close to the wall though. That's the only downside. So yeah, but I think that corner's our best bet. I'm gonna go ahead and probably install it there. So I'm gonna install that too. That'll take, I'm gonna guesstimate this is gonna be half the time that I'm here, and then the rest of the time that I'm here, it's back to caulking. Surprise, surprise. I do wanna knock this out before summer hits. Summer's pretty miserable where we're at, and I don't wanna be painting outside during the summer. So it's enough talking for me. I'm gonna go ahead and stop it here, and I'll catch you guys back in about maybe an hour or so. All right, see you soon. Okay, all right, it's about, I don't know what time it is. It's like maybe 10:40 or something like that. But we're rolling along right now. I just kind of felt like it's good to, I'm at a good stopping point now to kind of give an update. So over there, I installed the duct already for the 4-inch line. And these guys are, man, they're kind of tricky to work with. The main reason why is because you got the inline dampener that I was telling you about earlier, which I'll show you in a little bit how that ties in. And then you got this flexible duct that kind of goes in. So for this guy, the 8-inch, I went ahead and got or sealed the top part of the attic already, so that's completely sealed off. I went ahead and put a little bit of the mastic around the outside of that guy, and then mastic around this guy too. And this stuff is messy, like it just gets everywhere when you stick the duct on. But let me show you how this inline dampener works. So pretty much imagine this is in line with it, and when the air blows, it kind of opens up these I guess fans. Well, I don't know what they're called, but anyways, it opens this up and the air flows through essentially. And when it doesn't blow, it automatically closes because it's there's springs in here that close it. So this, at first I was sticking it on top of this and thinking, man, that's really not very stable. But I guess the way this is made is there's a gasket here. There's another kind of foam gasket right here as well. It actually goes inside the duct is what I'm seeing it do. So essentially I take the duct and the flexible duct, and I just stick this all the way through. And then I go in with like a zip tie, like this guy right here, and I just zip tie it into the duct system. So let me go ahead and do the 8-inch real quick, and I'll show you guys what that looks like when I actually zip tied into it. All right, so this is what it looks like kind of in place. It looks like it's crooked, but it's not. It's because the spirals itself are kind of, they're slanted, you know? So I don't believe it's crooked. It could be crooked, I don't know. But anyways, so pretty much this is kind of what it looks like in place. And the zip tie's holding it in place. I could do another zip tie back here. I probably will, just in case, to make sure it doesn't fall or anything like that. Actually, I don't think it's gonna do it, so I'm just gonna leave it like it is, because it's not even gonna, this isn't even like slanted, that's straight up and down, so I think I can leave it the way it is. But pretty much the air flows, opens this guy up, otherwise it's gonna close on itself, and it's gonna be facing like this onto that guy, you know? So this is the dampener. The purpose of it is mainly just to keep backdraft air from the outside flowing into the house, which is nice. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I'll go ahead and kind of cut this down to size so that it fits this, and after I do that, I'll go ahead and show you one that I install right here live. All right, cool. See you in a little bit. Okay. So this is what a colon looks like. I'm just kidding. It probably does look like that, actually. I think we just went to the, my wife and I just went to the Children's Health Museum yesterday, and yeah, we walked through a colon. It looks kind of like this. It has a little bit more spots in it, though. But anyways, that's the dampener right there. It opens up. Remember, it opens up towards us right now. So I'm going to install this side on the roof line. That way, that side can go into this air vent. So let's, before I get it up there, because once I'm up there, it's going to be hard to use. I'm going to go ahead and pre-do one of these guys, the zip ties. Okay, so I don't want it too tight. I'm going to go ahead and get this into place. I don't even know if you can see what I'm doing because it might be too close. Sorry, apologize for that. But I've already committed to this position, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep going. I'll show you afterwards. Okay. All right. I think I am, man, this stuff is messy. It gets everywhere. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. Yeah, that's in a good spot. Let's go ahead and tighten this sucker up. Okay, make sure that's in a good spot. Looks like that's in a good spot. Yep. Okay, so let me go ahead and reposition the camera up. Oh man, I got that thing all dirty now. Dang it. Okay. Anyways, I'll have to clean that camera now. So, this thing helps me pretty much make this tighter. I don't even know what this is called, but I don't know what anything's called. All right, so that's gonna get tighter around there. Yeah, that looks good. We're gonna tighten this down. And then this thing actually cuts it for us. See? That's nice, isn't it? Now, that's really held there pretty good. I don't think that's gonna move at all. And then you can zip tie this too. I've seen some people tape this guy as well. I taped the others down there. I don't know if you can see it, but there's like a flex tape down there. But I think for these guys, since they're so big, I'm gonna go ahead and zip tie them. Zip tie the fiberglass. I think that'll be better. I could be wrong, but you know, it's okay. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and slide this guy up here all the way to the top. Oh yeah. We're gonna zip tie that down. Okay, let's check the other side. All right. Always make sure the zip tie is in good position, because once you get it down, it's going to be really hard to undo. Yep, I think that's in good position right there. So now, this side towards, that little cutter side towards the, towards it. Alright. There we go. Cool. Let me step back. Let me get you guys a better picture. Alright, so that's man, that's fiberglass in my mouth. That's not pleasant. So zip tied up top. You do the actual flexible side first. Man, the first time I did this stuff, I did not do the research I needed to do, but now I have better tools, did a little bit more research, and I'm happier with kind of the end product. more so than the first time I did it. Not with this house, but the last house my wife and I were in. So next, remember this is where that inline vent is at that I installed. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put this on like that. And I mean, I guess I could just let it float, but I'd rather not. I'm just gonna let it sit right on top of this guy. Yeah, like that. Just like that. And then I'm gonna clamp it right here. Yep, that's a good spot right there. Let's go and get another zip tie. Oh, it's pretty hot up here, guys. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I don't want it that high, but I don't want it like all the way to the base either. So right here looks like a good spot. Yep, I like that spot. So we're gonna go ahead and tighten that guy up now. Oop, wrong direction. All right. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. Let's cut it. Okay, there we go. And then very last part, let's get this insulation tucked in like that. Darn, man, I cut this little plastic piece a little too short. Honestly, this air is not even AC'd, so I don't even know why there's duct here, or there's insulation right there. So wanted to zip tie this, but it's not going to zip tie because it's too high. So I'm just going to have to, oh man, that's why I'm so itchy. All this fiberglass. All right, so we're just going to tape it. Yeah, like that. Man, getting it around this wall is going to be a pain. Let me remove this. I'm gonna remove it off these little mounts, and I think that'll make our lives easier. I'll stop. All right, it's done. We got one more 8-inch to do, and then we'll be done with the attic, which is nice. I want to get out of here. It's too hot. Yeah, so I couldn't get that sucker off, so I just did 2 circles of tape, and I started at the side that was against the board, which made things a little bit easier. And again, that's not where my air seal's at anyway, so I'm not too worried about the tape being there. The purpose of that tape is mainly just to keep the insulation around the duct, the actual duct inner tube, there. So nothing from an air seal standpoint of view is associated to that duct tape. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and move to the other 8-inch. That way I can stop dealing with fiberglass and making my face itchy and move on to caulking. Man, I would do caulking over this all day. All right, see you guys in a little bit. All right, guys, that one's done. That's the last, excuse me. That's the last one that we have inside the house. So I am sweating up a storm, so I'm gonna get out of the attic now. Excuse me, man. All right, guys, so let me show y'all what I did here. It's about 12 o'clock, and I finished this little, I guess it's a dryer vent. Yeah, it's a dryer vent. That's what it's called. Usually I don't know what this stuff's called. Anyways, so this one's just a flat one right here. I didn't want the little blinds one where there's like 3 slits or whatever, because those tend to break over time, whereas this one, I think it's a little bit more durable and it's nice. So the way I installed it was I cut into the hardy board first, then I just used a grinder because I just wanted to do a shallow cut. So I got those pieces right there, cut off and removed, and to get kind of the corners, I used a chisel and a hammer to kind of chisel it, because the grinder is not going to get into that. And you can see here I did cut a little bit into the board outside of this box, which I'll go back and cover all this up with caulking afterwards, just to make it look nicer and cleaner. But before I installed the box itself, what I did was I took liquid flash and flashed around the outer rim. I did leave 2 gaps down here just in case if it leaks water, it'll drain out. And then around the hole I also liquid flash as well, so I kind of did a double barrier, which is nice for water purposes and making sure water doesn't get into this little cavity. On top of that, there's an overhang, but this is a lot lower, so I do want to be careful with water barrier and making sure that that's done properly. But I screwed the 4 screws in, and then let's go to the inside. So for the inside, I just use a little bit of mastic around this outside and the inside of it as well, and then I put this little piece of duct flashing, I guess, inside, and it came with the kit, which is really nice. And I'll go back and I'll seal this little outer rim off with spray foam in a can, and that pretty much will seal off this completely. I'm gonna also do the same thing with this guy that I did with the vents upstairs, where I'll add a backdraft dampener to pretty much keep air from the outside from coming in to the house, to completely seal it off. So that's pretty much it. I'll probably have another video where I seal off every single opening that goes from the inside of the house to the outside with spray foam, including windows. That's going to be later on whenever I'm doing right before sheetrock and I need my insulation inspection from the city. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of house cleaning, clean stuff up, and then I think I'm done with the interior of the house and that guy, I think I'm going to head out to the front of the house and continue caulking. I'll see you guys out there. All right, guys, so we're back at it again, I guess. We're going to be caulking on the outside. We're going to try to finish up the front wall, or the front facade of the house. Something that's interesting here that y'all may not have seen last time is that we have the brick up. So we're pretty excited about that. We do need to whitewash it a little bit and just make it look a little bit more distressed. But something unique about the brick, I don't know if you can see it, is actually it's 3D. So we had the guy, the brick guy, pretty much stagger out the brick along the wall to give this kind of 3D effect and make it look a little bit more vintage, is kind of the look that we're going for. And I think when we actually distress, and not distress, but add on the whitewash to make it look like it's distressed, this a little bit more than what it already is. There's some whitewash already on the wall already, but I think if we can add on a little bit more white, it'll look really nice. So my wife and I, we saw this at one of the houses in a different part of town, and we really liked it. So we actually just knocked on the door and asked them how they did it, and they kind of told us exactly how they did it, or how they had the contractors do it. So we're just replicating as closely as we can to what they did over there on that particular house. So we have this part to kind of start on. Hopefully I'll knock out most of this, and my goal right now is to maybe get to this portion of the wall. If I can get to this portion of the wall, we're in pretty good we're in a good part of the or close to the end, I should say, of the project for caulking, at least. I mean, we still have that long wall down there, but that's about maybe a day worth of work. But I'm really hoping I can get to at least somewhere around this area. So we'll see. I mean, there's not that many windows here. There's not that many joints. So fingers crossed, hopefully I get here, all right? So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Yeah, so didn't get through as much as I wanted to get through, and I'll kind of explain why. But we are at the end of the day today. It's kind of an early day. It's 2 o'clock, and I have to go meet the seller that's selling the meat slicer. So excited about that. Not so excited about not getting as much done today. So let me show you what I did. I did some caulking here. I knocked out a lot of this right here as well. Went ahead and caulked all that, and this is kind of my stopping point. So the issue that I ran to with this soffit here in general is that whenever they did this particular section, I think they just had really high pressure or something, because a lot of the bolts were just blown straight through the soffit, which I could just ignore if I wanted to, but I'm not going to, because we're gonna have Reese's cans here. They're gonna be using the soffit to hold the Reese's can up, so I really needed to go in and make sure that the soffit's well kind of secured into place. That way, whenever they drill the holes for the Reese's cans, it actually goes in properly and actually doesn't start falling down or pulling the soffit down. So I had to go ahead and kind of redo these sections and then caulk all the holes, because it's pretty much every single nut that they or nail that they actually hit into the soffit was just blown straight through. So that's kind of what happens, you know, at the end of the day. And I can't check everything here whenever they're doing the work. So as I go through it, you know, you find issues and you kind of just fix them as you go. I mean, I could go back and try to get them to come back and, like, I guess check everything else, but these guys are pretty much long gone now. Haven't used them in a while. So you know, it's okay, not a big deal. I just have to spend a little bit more time fixing stuff. I'm really, fingers crossed, hoping that the rest of this does not have that same issue, because if it does, then I'm in for a little bit of work ahead of me to try to fix what they did. I'm walking around right now trying to find out, or take a quick look and see if that's the issue or not. And it kind of looks like it, but I'll get to it when I get to it. So off to go meet the seller, and I'll end the video a little later today after I pick up the meat slicer. All right, see you guys in a little bit. Hey guys, all right, end of the episode here. So let me show you the slicer that I picked up. It's pretty much what you'd see in a meat market, really. This is just something I found off of Craigslist. Again, it's Burkel, I think that's the brand. But I'll have to kind of play with it a little bit, read the instructions on it, and try to figure out how to use it. But I'm making a prosciutto today, but the prosciutto probably won't be ready for like maybe an extra 12 months from now, 16 months from now. So I'll have to make some something a little quicker to cure, maybe like a pancetta or something. But that's it for today. Let me go ahead and get this loaded into the house, and I'll see you guys next time. So see you real soon here on JT Time. Man, look at this. 2 weeks later. Literally. 2 weeks later. That's ridiculous. Should have saw it a week later. Man, it was crazy. I didn't even know that I had that bruise there.